Certainly no reason not to be fired up for today. All the build-up and everything is just about over now, and it's time to get down to some hitting and some football.
It is very, as we've said, a lot of hoopla brought up, and you can feel the excitement in the air here at Charleston. It looks like it's going to be a great day to play football. The sun trying to peek out, and
Ron spotted a plane way up off in the distance. Maybe that's him.
Maybe they'll just shoot him to the ground this time, huh?
Good crowd. Getting a little sun beginning to break this afternoon for the game, and we were a little fearful early. There might be a little brisk, but it's going to warm up and be a nice day for football.
I was going to say, it was even a little cool today. You and Ron brought those coats in.
I've got mine laying behind me here. I'm not going to need it.
Well, you can see a lot of folks in the crowd that have jackets with them, that peeled the jackets, and looks like, as you say, it's going to be just an excellent football afternoon. A lot of eyes skyward as they're trying to see whether the plane that apparently is going over is a little difficult to see from our vantage point here. Some of the officials in the field are pointing upward. I assume that they've spotted something.
Bulldogs deck out in their red and the white today. White jersey with red numbers, being on the road at Charleston, and Charleston will be in their home field blues.
Sikeston Bulldogs, it's Brian Self and Greg Grant.
Jim, we mentioned a minute ago, both teams coming into this afternoon's game with a record of no wins and 1 loss, so we will have someone after today that will accomplish their first win. Certainly we hope it's the Bulldogs, who seem to be fired up and are quite ready to take on the Blue Jays.
You can hear from the field the public address announcer as they make the official introductions of the officials and the flip.
Coach Vickery's out there to get a closer look at the flip, too, for some reason.
They have both the coaches.
Honoring them for this being the 100th game, I assume.
Something a little special, isn't it?
Right. Again, just like last week, if we picture this right, Sikeston had won the flip, but they declined to take the option at the first half and have given that option to Charleston, who have elected to receive the football. And Sikeston will have their choice to open the second half, or whether they want the football at that time or not.
So the Bulldogs will begin the ball game by defending the east goal. They'll be going from left to right on your screen, and the Charleston Blue Jays will be defending the west goal. That'll be moving from right to left. We'll quickly give you the starting lineups for the Bulldogs. We'll give the defensive lineups first. Number 55, Chip Thornton. He's a 185-pound senior playing defensive end. The other defensive end will be Ron Sells, number 60, and he's a 185-pound senior. At the linebacker positions will be number 32, Brian Price, a 185-pound junior, and Chris Taylor, a 185-pound junior, wearing number 42. At the nose guard will be number 75, Stacy Deal, 200-pound senior. At the tackles will be number 64, Willie Gillespie, a 215-pound junior, and Dana Carter, a 225-pound senior, wearing number 74. At the safeties will be Brian Self, 170-pound senior. He'll wear number 10, and number 14, Greg Grant. Those are the captains today for the Bulldogs. He's a 150-pound senior. The cornerbacks will be number 12, Chris Mooney, a 150-pound junior, and number 11, Jimmy Laughlin, a 170-pound junior. For the Charleston Blue Jays on offense, it'll be number 3, Matt Whitesides at quarterback. The tailback will be William McCauley, number 25. Number 26, Rodney Crawford, will be the fullback. The wingback will be Eddie Atchison, number 2. Number 42, Kevin Bone, will be the split end, and the tight end will be Vernon Evans, number 18. The right tackle will be number 73, Chris Blaylock. The right guard will be number 51, Clinton Gross. The center will be Kevin Ray, number 59. The left guard is Carl Bone, number 61, and number 53, Charles Hamilton, will be the left tackle. On offense for the Bulldogs will be the tight end. Will be Darrell Wasson, number 80. He's a 185-pound junior. At the strong side tackle will be 225-pound Dana Carter, number 74. The strong side guard will be 185-pound senior, 55, Chip Thornton. The 7th will be Joe Sevick, number 63. He's 185-pound senior. At the weak side guard will be 185-pound senior Tom McCarty, wearing number 68. And at the weak side tackle will be number 66, Rob McCauley, a 200-pound senior. The split end is 175-pound senior is Joe Fetch. He wears number 85. Number 11 will be the quarterback. That's Jim Laughlin, the 170-pound junior. At tailback will be number 47, Mark Gerald, a 175-pound junior. At the fullback position will be number 32, Brian Price, a 185-pound junior. The wingback will be number 14, Greg Grant, a 150-pound senior. Those are your starting lineups for the Sikeston Bulldogs. We'll give you quickly the defense for the Charleston Blue Jays. Number 8 is Curtis Kent. He's a cornerback. Number 42 is Kevin Bone. The safeties will be Matt Whitesides, number 3, and William McCauley, number 25. The linebackers are number 25, William McCauley, and number 31, Jerome Garner. The linebackers are Jerome Garner, number 31, and number 22, Ronnie Woods. The ends are number 51, Clinton Gross, and number 26, Rodney Crawford. The tackles are Chris Blaylock and Charles Hamilton. Blaylock wearing number 73, Hamilton wearing number 53, and the nose guard will be number 64, Ron Lyons.
Jim, the Bulldogs have gone through about 20 minutes of loosening, agility-type drills. Now they've come together to run some offense. Of course, they came out earlier and had to go back into the locker room during some of the pregame festivities, and they had about 35 minutes to sit down in there and maybe stiffen up. So they have gone through and done quite a few loosening drills to get back ready to play this football game.
Well, we're running about 15 to 20 minutes over the anticipated time. They thought that at least they might get started at 2:30, so that's always a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. When it was hard to say how long they would have the festivities, but they were nice. They're over with, and I think we're just moments away of getting this kickoff and this football game underway, as the sun has broken out and shining pretty brightly now.
That can create a problem, can it not? These boys, I guess this will be the only afternoon game that they play this year. Well, there's one with Ladue.
Ladue on a Saturday afternoon. Of course, they practice in the afternoon. Maybe not quite. They don't get started at 2:45, but in the afternoons during the practice, it's 3:30, 4:45. So they're used to fielding punts in the sun and kickoffs and having to contend with the sun. So that shouldn't be much of a factor for either team.
You as a coach, what do you normally do differently in the afternoon games that you don't do at night?
Well, Jim, there's not a great deal of preparations that you do differently. Some of your receivers and that are going down for passes and all may have a little better look at the football as it comes in, unless maybe they would happen to look back directly into the sun, and that might cause some problems. But again, that's the way you practice the majority of the time. It's been in the afternoon. So again, that should cause no real problem for anybody. And I doubt if there's too many different preparations that you have to make from an afternoon to a night game.
They might spot on some of the boys some black under their eyes. You know what that's for?
Yeah, that's to reflect the sun. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And it causes some problems more often than it does some good. But it does. Your punters and your receivers and people that have to look to skyward that may have to face the sun, you could put some of that black charcoal or it's black shoe polish or a type of a thing that would reflect the sun away from the eye and give you a little better chance to see the football.
Here it might be a little different in that we're going to be going east to west, and the sun could be a factor in that from that standpoint, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's true. But again, in your practices, if you've looked far enough ahead, and I'm sure Coach Vickery has, he's put those
punters looking into the sun and having to contend with
that as a factor, if it is one.
Okay, we look like we should be just moments away from getting started here. The ceremonies have concluded. Each of the teams look like they're getting into the last minute of their drills, and Coach Vickery and his staff has pulled off to their side of the field. They will be opposite us. We're sitting on the north side of the field as the bench of the Charleston Blue Jays is on this north side. The Sikeston Bulldogs bench is on the south side.
One thing I've noticed, Jim, this field being a little different from ours in that they've got no yard numbers or markers on the field. They are back in behind, and these football players are going to stand in front of most of those yard markers, at least from the 30 to the 30, so we're going to have to look closely to be sure we spot the ball on whatever yard marker that it's on. Our field at home has them on the field, and they're easier to pick up than these rubber mats of things that they have about 15 yards off of the field behind each goal line, yard line.
That will make a difference. I hadn't noticed that at first.
You get these players standing up in front of them, and then we may have to just do some 5-yard counts here, start at 0 and count up to be sure we do have the ball marked where it's supposed to be.
I was just looking at this Charleston. There's the boy about number 65 and then number 21. You talk about a mutt and a Jeff. It looks like that boy may be 8 or 10 years old, doesn't he?
It sure does. And then the number big 73 there.
The only one that got to the middle of the huddle there, but just walking between the rest of the boys' legs, didn't
Yeah, sure did. They parted and made room for him.
Okay, the coaches have each of the teams off to the side. They're giving their last-minute instructions to them, and we're just ready to play football as Charleston breaks their huddle and comes onto the field. They will be defending the west. We've got a few of them that started down the other side. That's actually the end that they started on, but I believe they're going to have to change ends because I believe, yeah, there the officials signal them to go to the west end.
Trying to think of a little reasoning there that Sikeston winning the flip and then declined to make the choice here at the first half. As we talked last week, we felt pleased with the job that the defense did, even though they gave up a lot of yardage. They only gave up 1 touchdown. But overall, we were pleased the way the defense performed. Now, again, trying maybe to build some fire and some spirit into the kids, Sikeston elected to give Charleston the choice. They naturally took the football, so that's going to put our defense out on the field first, hopefully to stop Charleston and then get the ball to our offense.
So that you've got that possibility of you get to choose what you want that second half, which obviously you'd like to have that ball going into the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly if it's a close game, that could make a difference, couldn't it?
Yes, it could. And again, to get that defense out there first, I'm sure they've worked them hard this week as well as they have their offense, getting them ready to perform today.
The deep men for Charleston are number 8 on the far side. That is Curtis Ken. He's a 150-pound junior. And number 10, no, excuse me, that's 18 on this side, and that's Vernon Evans.
And number 75, Stacy Deal, teeing the ball up for the Bulldogs.
And we're ready for football. This 100th game between the Sikeston Bulldogs and the Charleston Blue Jays is now ready to start.
There's the whistle, and here we go.
Deal gives a short kick, picked up by number 22. I believe that's Ronnie Woods. He's a 180-pound senior as he brings the ball back up to about the 35-yard line, 36-yard line, 32-yard line. Well,
number 22, Ronnie Woods, the ball carrier.
That's a 34.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
say the 34-yard line.
Yard marker's already factored in.
Yeah, they sure are.
Pro set, split backs, 1 split in.
Man in the motion comes to this side. The give is to number 25 as he tries around the end, and he'll pick up a couple of yards. That's number 25. That's William McCauley.
A good running back, Jim. Last year, he was one of the best runners that Charleston had as a junior. I think they were a little disappointed in his performance last week against the Arkansas team. I think he only picked up 20-some odd yards rushing, but he's going to be a person, a running back to contend with that Sikeston's going to have to stop. He's a big kid, too.
Good size, long legs as they shift in.
Out of the shotgun.
Out of the shotgun, and it's to McCauley, and he's hit immediately by number, was that 85?
85, Joe Fetch.
And they'll pick up a few more yards, so it'll be about a 3rd and 4.
A little unusual, second offensive play from scrimmage, and Charleston takes it out of the shotgun and throws and completes a pass for a little yardage.
Have you heard whether or not that's a common play that they've used
I don't know.
this year? I just wonder. You don't see that very often in the high school at this stage, do you?
No, you sure don't.
He gives to the man up the middle, and he didn't get anywhere. He's smothered as the whole center part of the line.
So as to hope, the defense has shut down the Blue Jay offense, and they're going to force them to punt and get the ball to the offense of Sikeston.
He lost about a yard, back to about the 40-yard line.
Greg Grant back deep for the Bulldogs.
Single. Can you see the number of the punter?
Michael Jones.
Jones, okay. Short punt as it bounds down, and it's fielded by Grant as he comes this way. He makes the corner, so he'll pick up some yardage as a good block on this side by number 55, Chipper Thornton, as he came around the end, and he'll pick up past the 50-yard line and give good field position for the Bulldogs to start their first series of downs.
Got 3 good blocks thrown in. Number 60, Ron Sells, threw a good cutback block for Grant as he turned that corner, and he had some people out in front that waited, and he picked up his blocks, and they knocked some people on the ground.
It's kind of a thing that you're always scared of when a runner tries to field the ball, particularly with a defensive man that close to him, but he looked like he kept his eye right on it.
Yeah, Greg's got good hands. He can pick them up.
Out of the power eye is a give to first man, and he's just brought right back. He's picked up. That's Chris Taylor, who tried the left side of the line off guard, and he got nowhere.
Blue Jay defense is fired up.
It'll be 2nd and 9 as the ball's about the 52 or 3-yard line.
Got an official's timeout for equipment repair. One of the Blue Jay helmet's face mask.
64 is replaced by number 7. That's Ricky Jamison coming in for Ronald Lyons. And the Bulldogs running out of that power eye tonight. The ball somewhere. There is a fumble, and let's see who's got the ball. Charleston recovers the ball. As they'll take over on their own 46-yard line for the second series of offensive downs.
Just a misconnection there in the handoff. I don't think either quarterback or the running back had the handle on that one, and it hit the ground.
Yeah, the timing was not very good on that play at all. Running out of the eye is the Jays. A fake. Let's see, incomplete. Grant, incomplete, intended for number 22.
That was Ronnie Woods, well covered by a couple of Bulldog defenders in the secondary. Charleston's going to throw the football, apparently, here, Jim. They put it up 3 or 4 times here now, and, of course, that's the quickest way to move it down the field.
And had relatively good time to throw the ball.
Yeah, not much pressure on the quarterback right side then.
Split backfield. Give to the second man as a crisscross. He tries the right side of the line. He doesn't make much of anything. They'll give him a yard, so as it's up to about the 52-yard line, or excuse me, the 48-yard line.
3rd and a long 9, usually a passing situation.
They're back to the eye. They use multiple formations.
Yeah, they've got a slot to this side, tight slot to the left. Reverse.
Comes back through, and he's got an opening, and Grant takes him, and he just saved a 1st and 10 because number 2 was wide open. That's Eddie Atchison, the wingback. Looked like kind of a wingback trap.
Yeah, excellent play by Greg Grant. He read that, stayed at home, and made the tackle and kept the Blue Jays from getting the 1st and 10.
Looks like a 4th and about 2 yards as the ball is just shy of the 45 of the Bulldogs. Grant's anticipating a punt.
I think they're going for it.
Yeah, looks like that they're going to. They're coming out.
The slot right eye
Quarterback sneak, and let's see whether he gets it. I don't believe he did either. Looks like he's going to get to the 45 and maybe just past it, but he's going to have to get down to about the 40, at least the 44. It's going to... I believe he's short. It looks like it's just barely past the 45-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10, the Bulldogs.
Big 74, Dana Carter, coming up off the bottom there, got right in the hole and stopped the quarterback from getting the 1st and 10. Nice play by Dana.
It's kind of an interesting call at this stage of the ball game, isn't it?
They've had a little success running off tackle, but the quarterback kept it and apparently felt he could get the yard.
So the Bulldogs take over on their own 45. Laughlin's the quarterback. He gives to...
looked like 88 Wasson now the backfield. Jim, I think they're running out of a wishbone with a double tight end. No splits. Full house backfield out of the wish. Laughlin at quarterback.
Number 85 lifts off. That's Joe Fetch.
Gerald's, Price, and Wasson in the backfield.
The give is to Gerald's as he comes off to this side. He picks up another couple of 3 yards, and looks like they're going to try to establish that ground game.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Out of that wishbone, you've got 3 backfields. If you're very capable of doing it, you can run a lot of cross action and a lot of counter-type plays. Send 2 backs one way and give to the 3rd back off tackle. Of course, you've got to have some pretty good blocking up front to make any yardage on it, but your extra backs in the backfield can provide some additional blocks.
It's the 3rd and about 2 as they've just crossed the 50-yard line. Again, it's to Crawford, and he makes it 1st and 10, and he's still going as he pops past the 40-yard line down to about the 35, 30, almost to the 30-yard line. Yeah. It's a good 1st and 10.
Nice run by Mark Geralds, who popped in there and wouldn't keep running. Kept running after it was hit a time or 2 and picks up some additional yards. Nice run.
Looks like he wants to show the coaching staff.
Yes.
15-yard run. Ron Klutz, our statistician, shows us Laughlin calling the signals. The give is to the 1st man, the up man, and that's number 42.
That's
and
Taylor.
Chris Taylor, and he doesn't make anything.
Kickoff goes to number 42, Chris Taylor. Stacked up at the line.
Fetch back in with the play from the bench.
2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs.
Lost a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the 33. And the give is to Geralds, and he turns and spins, and he picks up 4 or 5 yards as he goes across the 30 down to about the 28.
That young man's doing some good running. He was hit right in the hole, but kept forward driving and picked up an extra yard.
He wants to make amends for last week.
Yeah. He's well on his way doing that.
Grant in for number 88.
Ron Ryan. Big number 73 for Charleston on the nose guard on the defensive line. Chris Blaylock, I think they probably mean in the program there he weighs 288 perhaps. They've got 28, but I think they've left off the first 2 because he's a big man.
Yeah, got to be either 288 or 228, one of the 2, doesn't it? We got a timeout, I'm not sure, injury. It looks like to Gerald.
Gerald.
Yes.
He took a good shot the last time he carried the football. While he was on his way down, somebody struck a helmet.
He's just very erratic as he goes off. Brian Self comes in the lineup for Mark Geralds. Brian's a senior. He's a 170-pounder.
Now they split out in the slot left eye. Laughlin back to throw.
Out to number 80. He's going to pick some yards up as he gets almost down to the 10-yard line.
Darrell Wasson on the end of that Laughlin pass.
Misdirected pass as he comes to the back to the weak side. And we're on the, 7? It'll be a 1st and goal from the 7 or 8 yard line.
Yeah, I think so, 7 or 8. Nice little play. Laughlin looked to his left and turned and threw back to the right like a little tight end screen. Had some blockers in front of him, and Watson picked up some yards.
Did a nice job, both getting the ball to him and following his blockers after he got the ball.
He did. Now we're back to the double tight wishbone.
With Ryan back in the backfield. And the give is to Grant.
He's inside the 5.
And it'll be a 2nd and goal from the 5 for the Bulldogs. As
Bulldogs going for their first score of the season here, Jim.
Keith Buck coming in. That's right. They were held scoreless the last game. Uh-oh. He just wasn't going anywhere. That was kind of an odd thing. I started to say that's not the wishbone because somebody's pulled the leg. If they have, it kind of broken the wishbone.
Yeah, Greg Grant tried the play that he ran just a moment ago. A couple of Charleston defenders sniffed that one out pretty quick and caught Greg a loss of 1.
3rd and goal to go from the 6 as Self comes back in for Grant. Timeout. We're going to get a timeout. Here we go. Timeout for the Bulldogs. Coach Vickery wants to. So the Bulldogs have the first threat to score. We've got 3:35 left in the first quarter. No score. As you can see on the opposite side as we pan the Bulldog squad.
Trying to look over there if we see what Mark Gerald's, number 47, if they're still working on him behind the bench or what.
Like you, I don't spot him. He looks like he's laying down, or someone is laying down on the bench over there.
Well, that's a shame. He was running the football very well first part of this quarter.
Okay, we've got Bulldogs about ready. As we've got 3:35 left, we go into the I. Split to the far side. Grant in the wing. And the fake. Oh, somebody ran up a crossing pattern. Somebody got mixed up, I believe.
Yeah, the ball was thrown in between two defenders. One went right and one went left, and the ball was thrown right where they made that cross, and no Bulldog defender near that one.
From the way it was thrown, I could not tell whether it was intended for the man coming in from the far side who had split out to the far side, or the slot back who had kind of veered out.
No, I couldn't tell either.
Okay.
Bulldogs will go for it.
This is 4th and goal. Split backfield, 3:30 left in the first quarter. Laughlin just lofts it up to Buck, and he can't hold it as it was out there. Can't hold it. The defender is number 42, Kevin Bone.
He saved the touchdown, Jim.
He sure did.
Buck had the ball in his hands just for a second when the Blue Jay defender made contact and shook it loose.
That's a tough pass, both for the receiver and the quarterback, and I thought Laughlin did a good job. He just lofted it there, had to have a good touch, and he had 2 or 3 yards yet before the sideline. It was a well-timed pass.
Timing's so important on that play, and they had that down good, but the Blue Jay defender spoiled that.
It was one of those that the defender just had to go up and over. So the Charleston Blue Jays take over on downs, and they try up the middle, and they're swarmed under right there.
Well, that play looked like it went in slow motion.
Sure did. Got Gillespie down. We got somebody down on the... That's Gillespie down.
You're losing some key people here early, okay? Not a good sign at all.
Can't tell. Coaches are out there in a hurry. We've number 75 coming in. That's Deal, I think. Yeah, Stacy Deal.
Jim, I think it's interesting to know that the Bulldogs maybe if it had given the field goal attempt some consideration, but of course decided not to go for field goal and tried to go for the touchdown on the last 4th down. Of course, I think had this been last year, Scott Carmody would have come in and boomed one through there. Now, I don't know, since Sikeston hadn't scored, we don't know what type of place kicking that we have.
Yeah, that's always a consideration. It was early. Maybe they just figured they wanted to try to jump out in the lead.
Yeah, very good call on the pass play, and just for, just about made connections on it, and that would have been the first 6. Of course, they didn't make it, so that does leave Charleston way down deep in the hole.
Man goes in motion to this side as the pitch is to this side as he tries to go outside, and that's Grant. Good. McCauley carries the ball. He'll pick up a few yards.
Greg Grant is an awfully sure tackler. He gets close to them, he'll bring them down.
3rd and about 6 for the Jays as the clock ticks down to almost 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. No score. The ball is on the 10-yard line of the Jays. They have a 3rd and 7.
Fumble.
Not sure.
Bulldogs got that ball.
Let's see who comes up with that fumble out of the bottom of that pile. Number 60.
68. Tom McClarty.
McClarty. All right. As he recovers on the 5-yard line, so they'll try that over again, huh?
Get a new set of downs to get the football in the end zone. I think they've marked it maybe at the 6 or 7.
Makes that first call look even better, huh?
Yes, it does.
Let's see, Ron Ryan hustling off the field. Laughlin down under, split back. Uh-oh, ball's loose again, and it's recovered by Charleston this time. We just did not make the connection. I believe as they recovered on about the 4-yard line, and they'll get it back again. We may run out the quarter just exchanging it back and forth here.
Well, it's a little closer to the end zone than what it was a minute ago, so Charleston is starting deep in their own territory. I don't know, just, again, quarterback and halfback didn't make connections on the handoff.
This one thing we talked about last week was the question of timing, and that's an all-important situation.
I think we definitely have a defensive battle on our hands.
As they try the off tackle on the right side, may have picked up a half a yard, not much more than that. It'll be 2nd and, let's call it 9.5. Ball just short of the 5-yard line. Clock inside a 1.5 minutes of the first quarter. He gives to the second man through out of the eye. He doesn't make much of anything. He may have picked up a yard or two. He's just across the 5.
Well, it seems like the fumbles have made both teams go back to a few of the basic plays, basic handoffs, and of course Charleston naturally is not throwing the football that deep in their territory, but it's just straight handoffs.
Yeah, if you got to do it, you'd say that's the end to be in, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got a 3rd and about 7 yards. Out of the eye, the pitch to number 25, Crawford, and he's pulled down from back. He's still up, but he was slowed, and I believe he's just short of the 1st and 10.
Number 95, Sean Eubanks, in on the tackle.
4th and about 2.5 yards. The ball's just across the 10. We're inside a minute. In fact, we're down to 32 seconds left as we change balls.
The Bulldogs should end up with good field position again here, Jim.
They are punting, and the punter stands in his own end zone.
They're coming after him.
Uh-oh, it hits him right there. It's right there. So the Bulldogs will have the ball on the 36. First and 10. Yeah, that'll be an interference call there. Yeah. That'll be interference. He did not let the ball hit the ground.
It didn't give the receiver an opportunity to catch
the
it.
ball, yeah. So we're down to 23 seconds. Let's see, we're going backwards. Okay.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are going to come out of this in good shape.
Have to, I assume they're calling it a dead ball foul, which would mean that they'll be a first and 10 for the Bulldogs, and they'll get the yardage also. And it's a big one. It'll put it right back down into
about the 21-yard line.
First and 10, Bulldogs.
Got to give the Bulldogs the ball, first and 10, the 21-yard line.
Well, again, the Bulldogs deep in Charleston territory with the first and 10 and a chance to push one in, their first one.
As George says, the Bulldogs are still looking for their first one. And he's good catch as he'll pick up.
Nice pass from Laughlin to Watson real quick right over the middle. Watson wide open and picks up about 10.
That's the one they learned from Blyville last week.
Little tight end dump.
Gerald's back in the lineup, so he just must have had the wind knocked out of him.
That's good to see.
We're in the eye. Split to the far side. Man in the slot. The give is to Gerald. He pops outside. He keeps coming around the corner, and he makes the corner, but he's going to be struck down on, let's see, 7-yard line.
Mark Gerald's the ball carrier.
6 or 7, yeah.
Tackle made by number 8, Curtis Kent.
And we're out of time in the first quarter, so we're going to flip the sides. As we end the first quarter with no score, Bulldogs knocking on the door, and the last 3 series of downs, they've been knocking on the door, but just haven't been able to punch it in yet, have they?
They've had opportunities here early to get into the end zone, but they've gone 5 quarters now without any type of score. But with the second and goal at the 7, and maybe this is going to be the offensive series, the Dogs will get in for their first score.
Yeah, that's something that's got to give them a big lift if they can get in.
Been asked to announce that there are restrooms available on the Sikeston side of the field. In the corners, there are restrooms available on the Sikeston side of the field, in the corners.
That's nice to know. That's thoughtful of them.
Probably medical reasons.
Yeah. Going to come back out of the wishbone with Price, Taylor, and Ryan in the backfield, double tight ends.
Second down.
The give is to Gerald as he tries off to the left side, the right side.
Inside the 5 to about the 4.
Third and about 2.
Of course, you think again they're in 4-down territory here. They'll give it 2 more shots if they don't make it on this 3rd down.
As Ryan tries off the right side, and he's in. Touchdown. Ron Ryan, sophomore, big boys. He gets the first touchdown of the season for the Bulldogs.
190-pound sophomore scores the Bulldogs for the first time.
Off the left end as he slants off. With 11:26 left in the second quarter, the Bulldogs have put 6 on the board.
Good blocking up front by Rob McCallie and Tom McClarty.
Self to do the kicking?
Yes. Laughlin will hold.
Number 10, Brian Self, to kick the point after.
Oh, my.
penalty markers.
I'm not sure what that was. The way the Bulldogs clapped, they are assuming that they are Charleston's offsides, and that's exactly what it is.
Penalty appears to
So
be
that'll
Blue Jays.
split the difference.
That'll move it to the 1.5
Not
yard
sure that
line.
it makes much difference to the kicker, though, will it?
No, a lot of times, though, you'll put the extra point kick aside and decide you might want to run for 2 now. But they're still set up to kick.
Try it again. Self to kick. Laughlin doing the holding.
Charleston
Dribbles
may have
across
just-
the line. And looks like no good. As number 22 got through there in a hurry, just the center was a poor center. Looked like somebody had jumped off sides right at the center, and anyway.
I thought one of the Blue Jays maybe had broken the plane there, the line of scrimmage, and caused the center to make a bad snap, but no flag on the play. But Bulldogs do lead 6-0. It's got to be a lift to the offense. They finally gotten some points on the board, and they do have the lead now after going all last week and not scoring. So, I'm sure they feel better about the situation.
That ought to help the defense, too, as they come out playing in front rather than trailing, too.
Yes.
Or just trying to stay even. Ron, have we surpassed last week's offense already?
Yeah, about double.
About double that. I was going to say,
Robert Mosby will do the kicking off for the Bulldogs.
okay, he gets it up. It's a short kick as number 7 comes right up through the middle with it.
Ricky Jamison.
Jamison is a junior for the Charleston Blue Jays. He brings it across the 35 down to about the 36 as he'll take over. 37, let's say.
Ball at the 38-yard line.
Okay, they're putting it 38. We'll call it 38. 1st and 10 for the Jays.
Gillespie back in, I see. Carter up front.
Oh, threw in a hurry as he still gets it away, and there's harnessing him right at the line, maybe a yard or 2 lost. That was a pretty interesting call. It looked like his knee was down to me, and they didn't call it from there.
Whiteside apparently was trying to run an option, but Sells was in on him quick and almost had him down, but he did make the pitch back to the running back and lost yards.
So it'll be a 2nd and about 12. 10:35 left in the first half. Bulldogs on top of 6. Split the end to the far side. Split backfield and the man in the slot to the far side. As he tries to go the opposite side, pitches way out, and he's caught in a hurry. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but not much further than that, as the Bulldogs have done well. The Bulldogs defense have all year played well on those ends, haven't they? They've really strung them out.
Yeah, that's your defensive ends and your cornerbacks doing their job. They're stringing the play out, and the help's coming from the inside, and then they're getting in on the tackles, too. So they're not letting the offense have the corners.
Those of you who are in the Little League and watching how to play, that's excellent play. If you're line, cornerback, and interior line with the pursuit. Again, as he's through in a hurry, that's a forward pass, but he caught it, and he again, I believe he lost a few more yards.
Willie Gillespie in on the quarterback Whiteside just as quick as he got the snap and stepped back, but he was able to get the pass off. It was complete for minus yardage.
Mighty dangerous there, wasn't it?
Yes.
So it'll be 4th and about 15 or so. We're under 10 minutes left in the first half.
And once again, Dog defense doing an excellent job.
They certainly are. As Grant drops deep, the sharp people are Self on the far side and Brian on the far side and Self on this side. Grant takes it. Kind of slow motion again. You thought he'd call for a fair catch, but
Ball was pretty well covered by the Blue Jays. Grant did make the catch and advanced it a couple of yards, and the Bulldogs will take over at the Blue Jay at their own 40.
So the Bulldogs have had, so far in this game, good field position as they take over offensively.
Gerald's and Taylor in the backfield.
Out of the eye with slot to this side. Gerald's given as he tries to cut the corner. He makes the corner. He'll pick up 5, maybe 6 or 7. As he comes across the 45 up to about the 48-yard line.
You notice he shifted that football, but he shifted it to the wrong arm. He had it in his left arm, and as he was coming to the left side, he shifted it to the right side. Try to keep that football away from those defenders once they come in and try to pry it loose, but he'll learn.
Second and about 2.5. Mark has done a good job today. He's picked up quite a bit of yardage today.
Yes, he has. There he goes again.
He's the workhorse. As he's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage there.
Big 73 crushed him.
Just jumped on top of him and went straight to the ground, didn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe number 26. Ronnie Crawford along with number 73, Chris Blaylock. No gain on the play.
Blaylock and Crawford, the tacklers for the Blue Jays.
Dogs got 3rd and 3 just about at midfield.
Mooney going out with a limp. Ryan in as we're in the wishbone again. Okay, it's given to Ryan as he pops to this side. He keeps plowing. He's going to pick up the 1st and 10, I believe, as he crosses the 50-yard line.
Has a nice hard run by that sophomore to struggling forward to get the 1st and 10. I believe we got a good vantage point if they have the 1st down.
1st and 10.
Pick up the 1st down.
That's the first running 1st and 10 we've had today, isn't it?
Blue Jay 49-yard line.
In Blue Jay territory, out of the wishbone. Laughlin barks the signals. The give is to
Gerald's off right
Gerald's
tackle.
again as he goes off right. He picks up another 5.
Behind the blocking of Carter and Thornton.
A little short of 5, give him 4, let's call it 2nd and 6. 6:45 left in the half with the Bulldogs ahead by 6.
We'll be satisfied with 4 or 5 a pop.
Yeah, that'd run that clock down and get us down there about time to score right before the half, wouldn't it? As he tries to talk and he doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Number 22, Ronnie Woods, and 64, Ronald Lyons in on the tackle for the Blue Jays.
3rd and 6.
3rd down.
As we approach the 6-minute mark in the first half. Ryan out, Grant back in.
Now you might look to that little tight end dump to Watson again over the middle. It was wide open the last time.
Flank both sides. Oh, right over his head as he was hit it. At the time, it was intended for Chris Taylor.
And he was open in the middle, Jim.
He sure was.
Couldn't get him the football.
In fact, it wasn't that bad a pass. I didn't think he really had a lot of pressure on him, and he did a good job of getting rid of the ball, and wasn't that bad a pass.
No, could have been caught.
That's 4th, and looks like the Bulldogs are going to go for it again, I think.
No, they're going to punt.
They're going to punt. As Grubbs is back to punt. He's a sophomore.
Number 18, Vernon Evans.
Low snap.
High punt.
Number 8, Curtis Kent.
I guess he got the spare catch signals.
Down the ball in the
Yeah, he stuck the hand up.
It's going to be Charleston Blue Jay football from 1st and 10 from there.
Inside the 25 as the Blue Jays take over with under 6 minutes left in the first half. The Jays trail the Dogs by 6. As we've got a full sun out now and it's beginning to warm up a little.
Yeah, it's getting hot. But we don't mind. We've got the...
That's right. They're running out of the eye as Whiteside barks the signals. Looked like a little movement on this side by the Jays.
Charleston's just not breaking off the football as quick as what they were.
They sure aren't. That might be one that they might just let it go. It's offsides. They,
no gain. They may decline that and go for the 2nd and 10.
The Charleston JCs have spent the weekend filming a special commemorative videotape recording of the weekend's activities.
Yeah, that is declined.
Okay, 2nd and 10 or 10 and a half. Well, they're going to leave it right there. It's
to the south of the
Mooney going off the field. Looks like a little limp.
football game.
Gerald comes in.
The tape will sell for $20. It will include all the weekend's festivities and the football game.
Self and Grant. Uh-oh, Gerald's not sure where his place is. He just came in the ball game. McCauley tries as Grant Thornton.
Shelley Crowley run him out.
Strung it outside line, and he'll pick up 3 yards. It'll be a 3rd and about 7.
Charleston's just not breaking off that football like they did earlier. They're not, the backs aren't hitting the holes as quick. Of course, there are not many holes there. Dog defense is shutting them down quickly.
Almost looks like slow motion, doesn't it? Out of the eye they come. Man on the wing with a split to the far side. And he's going to pass. There's nowhere to go as Gillespie blindsides him. He'll lose 5 to 7 yards there.
Willie was all over him in a hurry then. Whiteside didn't have a chance.
We'll call it 4th and 15, deep in their territory. Trying to pick up the marker. That's on the 20-yard line.
Yes.
It's going to be 4th.
And once again, the Bulldogs will have good field position.
Jones back to punt. Grant deep for the Bulldogs. Punt is up. Grant takes it. He's going to try the outside, and he's just tripped up by number 22.
Ronnie Woods, that's a nice tackle.
Sure did, because if he didn't get him, he'd add another 15 or 20 yards anyway.
Had some daylight to the outside, but Woods took care of that. Anyway,
excuse me.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're just over 4.5 minutes left in the half as the Bulldogs take over on the 50-yard line. Or just shy of the 50, about to 49 in it.
Was plenty of time to get another one in here.
Well, maybe they'll march the ball down on the ground and just march it right into the end zone, run off about 20 off of this. And
Official timeout. Equipment repair. Now we're ready to go. 1st and 10.
Okay, Dogs ready. 1st and 10 in the wishbone. Laughlin calling the signals. The give is to Ryan as he tries this side. And again, we don't look like we're really hitting that hole, do we? Look like we're just kind of edging up to it. And
the right side of that Charleston line on deep, maybe getting a little tired of that back coming through there. They're beginning to close that play down some.
Yeah, I'd say having a boy like that Ryan hit you, a 190-pounder hit you very often, make it kind of tough in a long afternoon. In the eye. The pitch is to Gerald as he comes to this side. He's going to try upfield and in nowhere. Gerald gets up a little upset as it looked like it might have been a little late hit there, and I'm sure that's what he was calling, but there is no flags. It's a loss of half yard. It'll be 3rd and 10 and a half.
And the Blue Jay defense is ignited here a little bit. And they're beginning to shut the Bulldogs down some.
Timeout, Blue Jays. Okay.
Timeout on the field. Charleston Blue Jays.
To go along with the festivities, Jim, I think both high school bands are going to perform at halftime.
The Bulldogs band is getting ready on the far side. They're in new uniforms this year. I think they just look super in those new black and white uniforms, don't you?
Very, very good. Yeah, nice, attractive, easy to see, and good uniform.
Coach Vickery enters the huddle here. As we've mentioned on previous broadcasts, 2 or 3 years ago, they changed the rules so that the coaches can now come on the field. Coaches in there. Okay, we're ready as the signal is given. Mooney goes to the far side as he split out to the far side. Backfield split. Laughlin, hits Mooney as he comes back across that field. He's still, it's complete, and it's about an 8 or 10 yard pass, about 8 yards.
Nice pickup. He just ran sideways for a little bit. He couldn't get around the corner.
Yeah, that's the one they have to learn, that they take that ball and they're going to have to turn upfield, particularly when you're on a 3rd and down, 3rd and long yardage like that. You got to go get as close to that 1st and 10 as you can get, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Sure do. Put that head down and try to get what you can out of it.
Okay, it's 4 and about 4 as the ball is on about the 44-yard line.
2.5 minutes left, second quarter.
Grubbs back to punt. Good. He
straight up.
Straight up. And it's going to bounce backwards.
Down it.
As that thing bounced almost back to the 50-yard line.
It's going to be a punt of a negative, about 5 yards.
Sure is.
Some of the Charleston people laughing said that's one of the best plays that they've had thus far.
Okay.
He just chanked that a little bit off to the side of his foot.
Yeah, it looked like he was looking up as he was dropping the ball rather than right down at his foot.
Then he got the bad bounce, bad roll, too.
We're down to just over to left in the first half. Looks like a pass attempt inside on the number 18 is hit. And, face mask. So we're going to get, he's going to have his 1st and 10 and then some.
Vernon Evans on the end of that pass from Whiteside. He had time to throw the football then.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be a 10-yarder. That was a pretty...
It's going to set the Jays up with their best scoring opportunity thus far.
By far the deepest penetration by the Jays as it runs that ball down to...
About the 23-yard line.
All right, 1st and 10, 22, and just over 2 minutes left in the half. So the
Dogs defense is really going to have to tighten down here.
It looked like the game plan for the Jays is to pass that ball, though.
Yes, it does.
Again, Self and 32, that's Brian Price. Self and Price bring him down.
He's inside the 20 at about the 19.
Okay, that'll be a 2nd and 6 with we're down to about a minute and a half. What do we got? 2 timeouts left for Charleston? I believe they have.
I think that's right.
One of their timeouts. Vernon Evans flanks to the far side. Out of the eye and a man on the wing to the far side. Yeah, we've got flags.
One of the Blue Jay linemen raised up too quick.
He was going to get out in front of that play, wasn't he?
He was going to lead that sweep, but he did it a count too soon.
That'll bring it back 5 to the 24. Okay.
Charleston fans are beginning to fire up a little bit below us here, Jim.
Trying to get something going in the same formation. Looks like he's going to try to pass it. He comes back to this side, and he's not going where. He may lose another 2 yards or so.
Taylor and Thornton on the tackle.
Well, he picked up about 3 yards, and that'll make it 3rd and about 9.
under a minute now.
What surprises me is they let the clock run down within this.
Now,
we're
shotgun.
going into the shotgun as we split to the far side. The man in the slot to the far side. Up high. We've got a flag, and it's down, no good, but I'm not sure what the flag is on this side. Looks like
illegal procedure on the Blue Jays.
On the Jays, huh?
Bulldogs, well, they either set up with a 3rd and about 14 or make it 4th and 9.
I think they'll decline it.
I believe they will. Force the Blue Jays into a 4th and 9 situation with 30 seconds left.
I would think, you're looking at make a pretty long extra point, a field goal from there anyway. And they have declined it. We've got a half a minute left in the half. The Bulldogs are up by 6. As you can see, some of the signs that were used pre-game ceremony on your screen, denoting the years of the previous players in the eye. Whiteside looks like he's going to pass. Tipped, and it's caught. But I believe he's short of his 1st and 10.
Going to be awful close.
Let's see what we got. We've got an official timeout. Some saying yes, some saying no.
Blue Jays say yes, the Bulldogs say no, naturally.
And prayers from both sides.
It's going to be close enough to measure. And 19 seconds left in this second quarter. Bulldogs leading 6-0. Blue Jays had it.
By the length of the football. 1st and we've got 19 seconds left. And the ball is, on the
13 or so?
13, 14-yard line. Now the real factor here is the clock.
And it's running.
It kind of surprises me. I would have thought they would have used their timeouts here, but we've got,
that'll stop it.
That stops it for sure there. I would assume that that's going to be a pass play from the way he got up and started moving.
Yeah, he was wanting to throw the football.
Bring it back.
Now, if they don't call a timeout, once they get the chains and everything set here, they'll start the clock again.
We're down to 10 seconds. Bulldogs up by 6. As we've got 10 seconds on the clock. The
clock, he's just started it. Jays are going to run out of time.
They sure are. They're back in the shotgun as he goes up to pass, and it's good, and they're going to make it. It's a touchdown right as the buzzer goes off. Touchdown. He comes around the wing and just outran him.
William McCauley, I guess the Blue Jays knew what they were doing, Jim, by running that clock out and scored on the last play as the half expires. I didn't think they did early, but I think maybe too it just worked out that way. But they did. They picked up the 14 yards or so on a pass play to McCauley around right in for the score.
And he just outran him as he came around the right end. It ties the ball game as the clock is out, and it for the extra point will be
Chris Blaylock puts the Blue Jays ahead.
Big boy, that looked like he didn't hardly touch the ball, did he? So as they go in at halftime, the Jays up by 1, 7-6.
That seems to be their best offensive weapon is the pass. But the receivers have their backs to the sun. But anyway, we're going to be going right into the sun here in this third quarter, and hopefully we can get a few on the board and hold Charleston and pull this one out here in the second half. So I'm going to turn it back over to you and George, and I'll see if I can't write our numbers for the second half.
Give us some good numbers this time.
Okay, Jim.
Thank you, Ron. Okay. The Bulldogs will receive as we start the second half. The Bulldogs are trailing by 1. What do you think the coaches told them, George?
Number 27.
Well, it was a nasty, nasty way to end the first half, Jim. Not much you can do about that. That's all history now. The Dogs are down a point, but just keep playing good defense like they've done, and hopefully the offense will continue to move the football and get another one in for us and put us ahead.
As a practical matter, it's almost like the start of the game. It's dead even.
Yeah, one point. You've got to score again to tie the game, to win the game. So, you know, it's just like you say, practically nothing to nothing.
Kickoff is to the up man, and it's number 27, and that's Greg Tate. And let's see, he keeps coming as he comes across the 35
Greg Tate brings the ball
up
back
to
up.
almost the 40-yard line. Let's see where they put it down.
Pretty good return to start the second half.
Very good. As we started,
Ball spotted at the 40-yard
laid
line.
right on the 40, and we'll start from the 40. Good field position as we start that second half.
Kick the ball. First and 10 from the 40.
Grant comes in late to the huddle. He's flanked out to this side as we start with the I. Fetch flanks to the far side. Laughlin still up under. Gives to the first man, and that's Chris Taylor as he goes off the center, and he'll pick up 2 or 3. A little quick hitter up the middle, and he'll pick up 3, maybe 4 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 6.
Number 42, Chris Taylor with the ball.
As we just started the second half, the Dogs are trailing 7-6 with the ball. On the wing to this side is Grant. Man flank to the far side to give is to Gerald as he tries to tackle, and he'll come across the 45.
Number 47.
Pretty basic so far. Just shove the football right at him. A couple of running plays, off tackle, picking up some yardage.
This is a big down, right?
Yes, it is.
You want to get your first and 10 to keep your series alive as you start that second half, don't you?
Got a 3rd and a long, 4, maybe 5. Might be a pass play.
Out of the I. The give is to Gerald as he tries outside. He got his 1st and 10. He's still on his feet, and he goes across the 50 down to about the 46 or 7 yard line.
Good second effort by Mark Geralds on that run.
Yes, he did, and he looked like that was designed maybe to go between the tackle and the end, and he just slipped on outside as the opening was there.
Yeah, I think he read that play real well. Off tackle was closed down, got to the outside, and got the 1st and 10.
So they did what they wanted to do. They picked up their 1st and 10 as they keep the ball moving. Grant split to this side. As I believe it's Fetch on the far side. The give is to Gerald as he tries to move up and down the line, and he goes across the 45. That'll be a 2nd and about
3 yards on the play, brings up 2nd and 7. For the Bulldogs.
Fetch is out.
Grant with a little bit of a limp. I think he hurt a knee in last week's game.
Timeout. Okay, we got an official's timeout. Looked like Mark Gerald's maybe have a strap that popped on him.
So again, nothing real fancy, just some basic offense here, some good blocking and some good ball carrying, and the Bulldogs are
kind of good to start to kind of get everybody settled down again and get back into the flow of things.
Yeah, just stay basic. If you don't have to go to the pass or anything fancy or tricky, then just stay basic.
Give is to Gerald. He tries off tackle. He keeps moving his legs. He may have picked up a yard or 2.
Still trying. Good second effort again.
About the 42-yard line.
He'll pick up a couple of yards, and it'll be 3rd about 5.
Number 22, Ronnie Woods. 25.
Another big crucial 3rd down.
42, Kevin Bowen in on that stop.
The junior quarterback, Laughlin, has gone all the way and again starts his second half at the QB position.
And as they are going along, it looks like it's getting just a little bit better. A good play as they give to that Grant as he tries the wingback reverse.
And he picks up the 1st and 10.
Good call. It was a good fake by Laughlin.
Yeah, very good call, good blocking, and a big pickup of the 1st and 10 in that situation.
That's one that has to work just right, as we could see very plainly there. He runs the inside of the quarterback, and the quarterback has to definitely get enough move backwards in order to let him go inside of him. And line can't drift back much, or they've got him trapped.
Yeah, that's very true. They faked the ball to Gerald's up the middle, and that suckered a couple of linebackers, and the the cornerbacks to the inside, and then they gave to Grant around the end, and he picked up important 1st and 10.
The ball resting on the 35. First and 10 for the Bulldogs as they trail by 1. We've just started the second half with 8:55 left in the third quarter. Flank to the far side as Grant is in the slot to the far side. Running out of the eye of the pitches to Gerald as he tries this side. He tries to make the corner, and he doesn't make it.
The defensive man for Charleston, number 8, Curtis Kent, read that play quickly, came up and made the one on Gerald's. Nice play by the defender.
Couldn't make the corner. He'll lose a half a yard. He'll call it 2nd and 10.5.
Again, as you said earlier, that's one of the responsibilities of the cornerback is not to let the ball carrier to the outside, and number 8 did the job then.
Betcha split to the far side as Grant comes to this side. The give is to Gerald. A good move right up the middle as he tries outside, and he'll fake, and he'll get close to his 1st and 10 as he's down to about the 35-yard line.
A little bit of a draw type action there. Looked like he was going back to throw the football, gave it to Gerald's, and he had a hole middle and picked up good yardage.
3rd and a short yard. This is a good call.
Yeah, I think the last couple of offensive series, we've had 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 maybe, and now we're down to a 3rd and 1. As
Greg
we move
Tate
closer.
is in. He's a sophomore on the tailback. The give is to Tate as he's going to pick up his 1st and 10. Good play. Nice move by Tate as he gets into the line in a hurry and made a curls and picked up his 1st and 10.
Bulldogs getting some good use out of some sophomores. Ron Ryan, who scored the touchdown, the sophomore. Tate now running from the tailback position as a sophomore. Got some youth in there, getting some good experience.
And it looks like it's beginning to gel a little bit, too. Everybody's becoming a little more familiar with that game experience.
Yeah, that takes time.
It always helps.
Uh-oh.
Quick one, and it's going to be, almost. He was behind his man as he had to try to get it in a hurry.
Laughlin under a lot of pressure that time.
That's the one you learn.
Trying to hit Fetch in the end zone, but he had a couple of Blue Jays in on him in a hurry, and he didn't have time to set up and throw the ball like I think he wanted to.
That was a break. Those are the kind they'll have to learn that if they're going to throw them, they're going to throw them high and long outside so they go out of bounds.
Yeah, that could have been intercepted.
Down to about 7.5 left in the third quarter.
Bulldogs take a timeout.
Bulldogs take a timeout.
Brothers Restaurant in Charleston Plaza would like to welcome everyone to Charleston.
So the Bulldogs have come back this second half and have the ball on the move.
Well, that's what you would hope, that they have the option. They elected to receive the football, being down 1 point, start the second half, and they've marched the football. They've gotten 3 or 4 1st and 10s, and they're moving it well.
Gives that defense a little rest here. Not that they need it at this stage, but they might at the end of the ball game.
As you get a look at the capacity crowd here at Charleston, real good turnout. Of course, they anticipated a large turnout, and it certainly has proven that.
I'd heard figures that they had anticipated around 5,000 people. I have no way to judge, but it wouldn't surprise me if there weren't that many here.
Now, there aren't many seats left, if any, and there's an awful lot of people that are standing.
Couldn't have picked a better day.
That's true.
Nice little breeze and sun's out. It's just a super football day.
And we're back at it here, 2nd and 10.
Grant split to this side looks like Fetch, I think. No. It's to Watson again, and he's got blockers in front of him, and as he might go over, he's going to be out just about on the 1 yard line. That pass has worked well today.
Yeah, second time. I know they've tried that to Watson, a little tight end screen out there, and he has blockers in front of him, and a very good pickup and a good call in that situation.
So it's going to be about on the 1 or 2 yard line. It'll be a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs from that 2 yard line, let's call it.
Keith Buck into the Bulldog lineup. Splits to the left.
The last time we threw the end out, lofted it to him. The give is to
Taylor
as he tries to make it.
No, not
Slip. Just short.
I think he got in, but they're marking his knee down at about the 1 where he slipped.
He's just...
he had a hold.
Sure did, and he popped out there in a hurry. Looked like he did a good job of popping out. As you say, he's
lost his footing.
David Freeman split to the side, and
Laughlin trying.
Laughlin trying to...
He's not in.
So we're looking at a 3rd and maybe a half a yard. And Buck comes in as they shuttle the tight ends. Grant comes to this side as Buck goes to the far side.
A 3's a charge, Jim. This is going in the end zone.
This one's going in. Give it to the
Taylor.
first time, and he's in. He's in. Touchdown. He goes up and over, and he's in. With 6:14 left in the 3rd quarter, the Bulldogs go up to 12. Will they try to?
The second time the Bulldogs have had the lead. I haven't seen the tee come in. I think the Bulldogs will try for 2.
Grant in.
At this point, it really doesn't matter. With a 12-7 lead, Blue Jays put 6 more on the board. They've got 13, so it's best in this situation to go for 2. And if you're successful, you've gotten 14.
Got a flag up, intercepted. No good. We got the penalty down. Let's see what it is.
Talking to Charleston,
I think we moved in the line.
I believe you're right from where that flag was thrown. It was illegal procedure on the Bulldogs. Extra point attempt is no good.
No good. Okay, we're looking 12-7.
Nonetheless, though, a good drive from taking the opening kickoff of the second half. The Bulldogs marched right down the field, had a couple of third down, cruise down situations that they were able to convert, and they end up with 6 out of it.
And you look at it from the standpoint that they took a half a quarter to do that. And,
yes, they did. That's in their favor also.
Sure is. So the Bulldogs go on top by 5, 12-7, with 6:14 left in the 3rd quarter.
Now, on the other hand, the Blue Jays hope to do the same thing. Take time they touch the football in the second half. They would like to move it down the field and get back in the lead. It's up to the Bulldog defense.
So we got Robert Mosley back in the kickoff. Between Mooney, Ryan, Thornton, Fitch, Tate, Sells, got the ball and he's down. He jumps all over number 9, recovers Hardy himself. A little different there from what the pros do. Once you need to touch the ground in high school, when you got the ball, you're down, you can't get up and advance it. So the Jays will take over on their own 33-yard line, 1st and 10.
Ryan really came through there
in a flash.
And I didn't catch who the dog was down on the far side. I couldn't get the number.
Go team go, as you see some of the Blue Jay fans.
Nice crowd enjoying the ball game.
Of course, I wouldn't hazard try to break the crowd up and how much of it's Charleston, how much Sikeston, but an excellent turnout from both towns for this one.
Sure is. The far side is filled with Sikeston people. The This side is filled with Charleston people. Not sure how the ends are filled.
The ends are filled with those who didn't get here early, get seats on the side. That was Brian Price, the injured Bulldog, that was helped off the field. I think Brian will probably be back.
Okay, out of the eye. Man split to the far side. On the wing comes in motion as they come this side. And they try to cut it. Cuts back, and he'll gain a few yards, but they...
Stacy Deal, one of the Bulldogs, in on the tackle, along with Thornton.
Number 8 down for the... That's Curtis Kent for the Charleston Blue Jays. Yeah, that's Kent. As you see the trainer working on him there. Could be a cramp.
Yeah, it looked like he was grabbing for the calf of his leg. Of course, it has, with the sun out brightly shining now, you know, the heat is a factor, and some of these cramps may be due to the heat and the temperature.
Number 69 for the Bulldogs, that's Shelley Crowley going back out. Okay, that's Curtis Kent as he comes out of the ball game. Hopefully it's just a cramp. He's a 150-pound junior.
Third and long one, Jim. Big down here. Bulldogs need to hold.
In the eye is man on the wing on this side. He goes in motion to the far side to give us the first man up, and he comes right up through there as he picks up first and 10 yardage and then some.
Ron Sells in on the tackle, but a quick hitter right up the middle nets about 5 or 6 yards, and the first and 10 for the Blue Jays.
That was one that sitting here, I got the feeling that they were anticipating an end round.
Yeah, I do too. They had been going off tackle and around in for such a long time, and they did give it to the up back quick and picked up the first and 10.
Good call. As they picked up their first and 10, come just shy of the 50-yard line. Split the backs. Man is split to this side, the man on the wing, as the wing goes in motion to the far side. The pitch is to him.
He's got the corner.
He's got the corner, and we've got a flag way back here, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure where he went out, but he'll be close to his first and 10 as he rounded the corner. We've got a holding, I believe, on this side, so that may bring it back. I believe it'll be.
If that is a holding on the Blue Jays, that's a useless penalty because that was way far away from the play and certainly unnecessary. In our favor, of course, but you see penalties away from the ball carrier of the action.
And that was a holding penalty. They are talking to Sikeston, and obviously they'll take the penalty here. As we're down to 4:45 in the third quarter. As we've got a brings it back to the 4-yard line, and that'll be a first and 20.
Yeah, illegal use of hands, pushing.
We'll make it first and about 19.
As they work in the same alignment. Quick hitter over the middle. It gets hit to number 22 as he comes around the corner. Self gets him, and he picks up his first 10 as they come across that middle.
Yeah, Ronnie Wood was wide open across the middle. He broke a couple of tackles, and he picks up about 23 yards. Good enough for a first and 10.
That's what you would anticipate that their game plan was, is to try to hit that man over the middle. We talked about that last week as being with the umbrella type defense, that leaves a wide open middle, doesn't it?
Yeah, they don't try to eat. They just try to hit that open zone, and they've been successful here for a couple of times now.
Wing to the far side as they split the end to the far side, and he comes in motion to this side. He'll right up the middle as he just drives right up, and he'll pick up a good 6-8 yards there.
Yeah, that quick hitter to that fullback there, number 26, I guess that's Rodney Crawford, powered up the middle for a pickup of about...
If they have trouble hearing us, that's because the feet begin to stamp, and they're really getting it going as the Blue Jays start to move that ball downfield.
Yeah, that's got the fans right underneath us, the Charleston fans excited.
2nd and 2 from the Bulldogs' 30-yard line.
And this is the most inspired that the Blue Jay offense has looked thus far.
And the wingback play back this side, and it works as he'll pick up his 10 and then some.
He wasn't running very hard, but he was picking his way through there and got the first and 10.
And the trap, did you see the big boy do the trap? He just kind of lowered the boom on him.
just the fact that he pulled out and ran is going to open up some area.
So they've really been in spot. Down to the 22, first and 10 for the Jays. In the split backfield this time. Pitch is to number 8 as he tries to go outside, and he's going to pick up right at the first and 10.
Vernon Evans threw a good block to the Blue Jays to get the ball carrier to the outside on Bulldog defensive end.
You can see they're using their split act to come back against that end to get some open on that end.
Yeah, they're not. Those backs are small, and they're not blocking hard into those defensive ends, but they're screening and tying him up just for an instant, and that's allowing the back to get to the outside.
Now, in that instance, is that a situation in which the end has to come across much more quickly, make a penetration of 2 to 3 yards, 2 to 5 yards, and stop that?
You force that and make him cut back to the inside.
Trap play as he goes right back up through the middle, and he's almost to the goal line.
Tackle made by Chico Ford, another sophomore that's in the Bulldog front. Oh, they got it at the 5?
They've got it at the 5.
First and goal at the 5.
Baylock is down, and I'd say that could be a cramp the way they're working on him also.
And we may see conditioning come into it, be a big factor in this second half. With it has heated up some, and we've already seen evidence of it thus far with 2 or 3 cases of some Charlie horses and some cramps.
Okay, as you saw on your screen, it was 2:13 left in the third quarter. The Bulldogs are up by 5, 12-7. The ball resting on the 5. It'll be a first and goal for the Jays when play resumes. As we pan the crowd, you can see some of the crowd in the uniforms that the crowd has taken on for this festive occasion. The shirts, the hats, as they're decked out for the 100th game.
I like the contrast in colors underneath us here, the Blue Jay section. An awful lot of blue across the way where the Bulldog fans are sitting, a lot of red.
Blue and white on this side, red and white on the far side. That's all American, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's the big man. May have to get the big coach to help him.
Number 73, Chris Baylock. Let's give him a hand, all right.
He's a little woozy too, Jim.
Yeah.
First and goal from the 5-yard line for the Blue Jays.
Of course, Chris does play offense and defense, so he gets a breather.
As they're in the split backfield now. Wing goes in motion. He looks like he's trying to hit somebody right over the middle as they break it up.
Safety deal batted that pass down. That's one way to stop that little quick pass. Those big defensive linemen, if they'll get their hands up in a hurry, they'll stand a good chance of knocking that pass down.
And that's almost the only way they're going to stop that right through the middle, as long as they're playing an umbrella-type backfield defense, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I kind of expect McCauley maybe to come to this left side here on a sweep.
Drive past. Nice hit, and he caught it. Nice catch. Touchdown. As that makes it 13-12. Nice play. It was tipped as he threw to the left. Cauley kept his eye on the ball, concentrated, and caught the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, good concentration by Crawford on that play. Ball was tipped, but he stayed right with it and it came down, and the Blue Jays have scored.
So the Jays go up by 1 with 1:55 left in the ball game. Or excuse me, in the third quarter.
Well, Big Chris has made it back in. It's going to try the extra point.
Down, up, no good. Okay, so we're down by 1 with 1:55 left.
Well, we've got a good football game. We anticipated that, and we sure enough have it.
So the Jays will kick off to the Dogs here.
For you Missouri Tigers fans, the final score, Northwestern 27, Missouri Tigers 23.
Just announced was 27-23, Northwestern over Missouri.
That's a surprise. Missouri heavily favored in that game, Jim. Coach Woodenhofer's debut, not a good one.
Not a good one.
That's not good news either.
He can quit announcing, can't he?
Well, he hadn't said anything that we liked yet. I wish he'd be quiet.
Okay. After he makes the Mizzou announcement, then he made the Cardinal announcement. Got no response, so he made the Blue Jay announcement. Up. Looks like it's Tate who will take, and he gets in behind a wedge of blockers. He comes up through the middle, and he's down to about the 35-yard line.
Flag thrown in on top of the pile.
There's a penalty marker on the field.
That could, a lot of times face masking, piling on, that kind of thing. Face mask, that's exactly what it is. So it'll pick up a, 15? Oh, well, could be 5 or 15, depending on intentional or not, right? Or flagrant, they call it, not
That's
intentional.
going up 15.
Okay.
So the Bulldogs have excellent position to start this possession.
Penalty against the Blue Jays. Face mask.
And that puts it on the 50-yard line.
10 for the Bulldogs. Right at the 50-yard line.
Okay, Dogs with it. Trailing by 1. Gerald and Price in the backfield. Grant on the wing, and they give this to Gerald, and he picks up on his own maybe a yard because they hit him behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, good run. He picked up a couple of yards there on his own, as you said. He was hit in the backfield, but struggled forward for a pickup of a couple.
Number 25, William McCauley, also in on the...
2nd and 8 as he crosses the 50 down to about the 48 of the Charleston Blue Jays.
on the stop. Give it a couple of 2nd and 8.
As the clock winds down to just over a minute in the 3rd quarter. Out of the eye. They give this to Gerald. Good fake as he comes across. He'll pick up maybe a yard. A lot of movement in the backfield, much forward.
A nice tackle by Crawford of the Blue Jays. The individual just caught the pass for the touchdown. Plain defense also made a good tackle.
3rd and 7. Just under a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Big play, big call here, Jim. If you don't make this, you probably have to punt. So, big call.
Think a pass?
Yes.
Oh, nice play and a nice catch. As he picks up his 1st and 10, it'll be another Laughlin to Wasson connection.
That's turning out to be a quick way to move the football down the field. Laughlin finds Wasson, pick up at 1st and down.
Moves it inside the...
to about the 36.
35, 36-yard line.
Probably be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
We could do this like they did the end of the half. He rolls up and he just kept moving.
Gerald's hit a couple of times pretty hard there, but still struggled forward. There's some good fierce hitting going on.
Slants off tackle on the right-hand side, and it moves up. He'll pick up a couple. It'll be a 2nd and, let's call it 3 yards, sub 3, and call it 2nd and 7. We've got a Blue Jay down. Again, they keep working on the legs, so we assume that those are cramps, and that looks like Crawford.
That's Crawford, yes.
As the quarter ends, we change sides.
I think you look at conditioning somewhat here, Jim. We've had 3 or 4 Blue Jays here lately that have had the Charleston and the cramps. Blaylock playing both ways, Crawford playing both ways. so maybe the heat is beginning to take its toll a little bit.
Curtis Kent, who had one earlier.
Crawford up and runs. And I guess we'll stay in the game.
Okay. Changed ends. Going to be a little tougher now for the Bulldogs as they will look into that sun, or at least the ends will look into that sun as...
and it's shining brightly. That may be a factor. Sikeston fans over across the way getting the wave going.
Okay. Freeman comes to this side. The give is to Gerald as he gets around in, and he... Oh, we got 2 down on that as they get up slowly on the Jays. Did a good job of getting around the corner. He'll pick up 5 or 6 yards. It'll be...
Nice run by Mark. He faked that to the inside, and then he turns around and takes it to the outside. A good pickup of 9.
3rd and a yard.
30 yards to go for the first down. 26-yard line.
Offensively, this is the kind you like. 3rd and short. The give is to Gerald. He slows, then picks up his 1st and 10. I thought he was going to hesitate enough that he was going to get it to you.
It's going to be close.
He looks like he's down. Again, we're trying to pick up those. It's a 1st and 10 as the ball's setting on the, what is that, 30-yard line?
Just inside the 25.
25. Okay.
That's even better.
That's better, yes. As we've just started the 4th and final quarter, Bulldogs with the ball, trailing by 1, 13-12. Out of the eye. Fake, and it's to give is to Grant. He ducks the first wave, and he may have picked up a half a yard, but he doesn't get much.
I'm sure that's one thing the Charleston coaches talked about at halftime is Grant coming back on that wing back trap or reverse play, and they were there waiting for it that time.
They had talked about they had shoved that line right back into the lane. Taylor goes out. 2nd and 10. Out of the eye is Price, and Gerald's in the backfield. In the slot is Grant. The give is to Gerald. He comes around this end. Oh, we've got a flag, and I'm not sure. Could be a holding. It's going to be a holding call against the Bulldogs.
There is a call. Now the Bulldogs are moving, but that's going to back them up.
He was close to his 1st and 10.
That's not that money you're talking about. That's not that money you're talking about. He earned his check. That's that big money.
Okay, as looks like it marked off. It's from the infraction, so that could be 20 yards from. Let's see.
Where they're going to place it.
50, 45, 40, 38-yard line. 2nd and 10, 20, about 24 yards. 2nd and 24. 10:53 left in the ball game. Fetch comes to this side. As Grant goes to the far side, we've got the split backfield. Laughlin.
Under pressure.
Uh-oh. We've got a flag right there. Face mask. Looks like we got a face mask, and that might be the biggest help yet.
There's another flag laying out here.
Back in the backfield, penalty marker down.
Face mask, as the indication is to the coach here. Face mask against the Jays.
Well, that'll make up for the holding call. Some of that yardage will be picked back up.
Okay, should be a 2nd and 5.
20.
Up, so it'll be a 2nd and 20.
Going to make it 2nd down and 20.
Almost forced into a throwing situation. And you got to think he's going to look for Watson somewhere. Watson has connected to Watson on occasion.
That or a draw play, possibly. And he's going to pass, and it's quicker. Oh, he caught it as he's got some room now. He's going back across field as he cuts up field. Did a lot of running, but he didn't get much yardage.
Nice sure tackle there by Charles Hampton of the Blue Jays. And a nice run by Gerald after he caught that pass and juggled it there a little bit. But once he made connections, he turned on for speed. He had it to the outside on the screen, and then he cut it back to the middle and left his blockers.
Yeah, it was probably thrown a little prematurely simply because there was so much pressure on Laughlin. He was really being rushed by two men that came right through that middle. I think they were both linebackers.
Big third down here.
Third and about 14. A quick one out to Gerald, and they nailed him for a loss right there. Ready for that one.
Sometimes you go to the well once too often. I don't know. Apparently the Blue Jays had sniffed that one out, and they were there and closed that one.
4th and 20. So you hear the noise again as the rumbling of the seats. Fetch in. Looks like the Bulldogs may use this as a down. They probably figure they're not going to get much further downfield anyway, then they might as well use it.
4th and plenty.
Gonna loft it far. He caught it! He caught it! No, he didn't. He caught it! Touchdown! Touchdown! He caught it, and they counted a touchdown.
That's the one, I think. They're going to call that a catch by Grant.
And he dropped it. The ground made the loss.
Now, let's see. The officials are talking. What are they going to decide?
Let's see. He originally ruled it a catch. Beautiful catch as Laughlin just hung it out there.
Grant ran
under it. And indeed, Grant took off and just ran right under the ball.
Jim, they're discussing whether that was a catch or not.
Yeah.
It was ruled a catch.
And that's what they're calling it. It is a catch.
Not a popular call on this side, but certainly to the Bulldogs' favor. Bulldogs take it over 1st and goal at the 1.
That's a real break for the Bulldogs. It'll be on the 1-yard line as
Kraft got to go out and try to find out exactly what they talked about.
Yeah, as he goes out to the field. Vickery comes into the huddle for the Bulldogs as he settles them down, tells them exactly what he wants.
Big play. You see a shot of the scoreboard. There's 9:02 remaining 4th period. Bulldogs trailing 13-12, but have 1st and goal at the 1.
So with 5:02 left, the Bulldogs are knocking on the door. We've got a timeout as the officials explain that call to the Charleston coach, Dempsey Kraft. Coach Vickery leaves the huddle as he's told his Bulldogs what he wants them to do. I would suspect we're going to get a couple of the first 2 downs going to be pretty conservative calls.
Yeah, you may see Gerald's off tackle. You might even see a quarterback sneak.
So it's a timeout for the Charleston. I'm not sure. Would that be the second timeout? It must be a second time they've called.
They may have used some of that time earlier to explain to the coach, and they wouldn't have charged him, I don't think, with a timeout then. But that was a judgment call, I guess, on the official's part, whether or not that ball was caught and held long enough, and they did explain it to Coach Kraft.
I would assume that what it appeared was that he called that he caught it, had it in his possession. When he hit the ground is when it was fumbled.
Yeah, I'm sure that's about the only thing they could have called. That he had possession with it on the way to the ground, and once hitting the ground, the ball bounced and rolled away.
Okay, so we're ready for football with 5:02 left in the football game. Dogs down by 1. And that's what you look for. The big play, right?
And that was a big one.
Grant split to the far side as Freeman comes to this side. Out of the eye they'll run as Laughlin, who's gone all the way, and he gives Price, and he just plows right on through. Yeah, I mean, they go right up through the middle. Price, the first man through, and it's touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, straight ahead, good blocking up front, good forward thrust by the linemen, and the Bulldogs have gone ahead. Seesaw.
18-13. I think they're going to go for 2 again.
Yes.
You almost have to here, don't you? That makes them either tie or go for the 2, don't it?
Sikeston to attempt the 2-point conversion.
Freeman split out to this side. Laughlin down under, give it to Gerald, and he goes across. And
Should be in.
He's in. Touch, or the 2-point extra conversion. So that's 20. 20-13, Bulldogs. As Gerald goes across, off tackle on the right side. That can be a big play there.
Yeah, that is. That's plenty big. That will force, of course, the Charleston will have to score again, and will force them to either go for the kicking extra point to tie or to go for 2 for the win. Hopefully they won't have that decision to make as the defense will hold for the Bulldogs.
I really got excited because I thought it was 5:06, and that, we're down to 8:56 now, unless we're running that thing back up.
Well, that 9 from a glance a minute ago maybe looked like a 5.
So we're just under 9 minutes left in the ball game. The Bulldogs up by 7, 20-13. And we've had the kind of football game that you would want for this 100th celebration, isn't it?
It's been exciting. The crowd over here has been, the crowd across the way has been excited.
So you get the roar as the Bulldogs will approach the ball to kick off, and it's Deal that's going to kick this time.
As we play musical kickers here.
Up and a little short. The up man gets it as 22.
Ronnie Wood
makes the corner, and he gets by 1, but he brings it back to about the 45-yard line.
Here come the Jays right back.
Yeah. That's Ronnie Woods as he brings it all the way back to the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays. Well, this is where you want them to buckle down.
Yeah, the defense has to get tough this time and shut Charleston down.
You talk about momentum, and this is where you would want to really take it away from them if you could shut them down on the first series.
After the first quarter, some sloppy ball handling and some fumbling, it's been pretty much fumble-free since then.
Yes, it has. The pitch is to number 31. He breaks a couple of tackles. He's around, and he'll pick up 6 or 8 yards. So he comes up to the 50-yard line and just across.
Jerome Garner, I think that was probably his first carry from offense for the Blue Jays.
Well, it'll be a pickup of approximately 8 yards.
Gain of about 7 yards on the play. Second 3 for the Blue Jays.
They say 7, second 2 or 3, whatever it may be, as we're down to 8 minutes left in the ball game, with the Blue Jays trailing the Bulldogs by 7. Out of the eye with the man on the wing onto this side. They give us to the wingback as he tries to cut upfield, and they have him at the line of scrimmage.
Chip Thornton stood the ball carrier right up, and that was it. Number 55, the defensive captain of the Bulldogs.
No gain. 3rd and 3. 7.5 minutes left.
McCauley back into the game for the Jays.
Atchison back in also.
3rd down, 3 yards to go for the
3rd and 3. Along with some of the big downs, this will be a big defensive.
Movement.
Movement on this side.
No flag.
And no flag. There sure wasn't.
Number 31, John
He picked up his 1st and 10.
And he's got the 1st and 10.
John Eubanks is on the tackle for the Bulldogs. Looks like the tackle of the end on this side moved, didn't it?
Oh, it certainly did.
Number 95, John Eubanks.
As they down to the 45. 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays. Split backfield. Man on the wing on this side as the man is split, and he's going to pass. He lost it up high, and he's wide open, and he's high. He's going to be a touchdown. And he got behind Chris Finney. And that's what's been suspect all season is
Pass defense. Whiteside to Vernon Evans down the right side. Broke a couple of tackles. Looney had a shot. Self had a shot, but Evans goes to the end zone. Blue Jays score.
Now, this is a real decision for a coach, isn't it? Do you go to tie here?
Well, I don't know. They're big man.
6.5 minutes.
Their big man, their kicker's going to the line, so they're not.
They're going for the 2.
Charleston for the 2-point conversion.
Oh, my. Pitch out. He's got going anywhere there. All right.
The Bulldogs stopped that play.
Stopped it.
Taylor, Thornton.
I really thought that Ron Sells was going to get him right out the middle. He looked like he had the quarterback as he came off of the snap.
Ran with him for a yard or two there. Well, that quieted the Jay fans down just a little. As you see the scoreboard, 6:41 remaining. Bulldogs lead 20-19.
Maybe a call that you get a lot of the coffee shop talk about Monday morning.
Well, I don't know. Blaylock, their extra point man, tried to kick down here a minute ago, and Shankly kicked it off to the side. He's had some cramps, leg problems, so maybe they just didn't feel like he was able to kick at it.
Also, that's a philosophy, too, it seems to me. Do you play to tie or do you play to win?
Hey, you play to win, Jim.
And, I think that's true. And I can't ever fault a coach for playing to win. You didn't get the execution, but you figure you play to win. You got 6.5, 6 3/4 minutes. He could still win with a field goal.
Oh, yeah, a lot of time
left. It seems to me that that's not a bad call either way you go.
Well, I'd feel a lot worse had I set up to kick the extra point and had it been missed than what I would trying to go for the win and not have made it.
Yeah.
And as you say, there's plenty of time left. Charleston's going to get the ball back at least once more.
Grant deep to receive.
Okay, Grant deep to receive for the Bulldogs. The ball is up, and he's going to take it as Grant takes it, gets in behind his blockers. He comes up the field, knocks one, comes back outside, and he could get some room. He goes around the end. Number 8's the last man, and he does get him.
A good return by Greg Grant.
And he slipped outside and picked up some good yardage.
You notice he made the proper shift with that football. When he to the left, he moved the football to the left side to keep it away from the tacklers.
He's limping, and I don't believe he just couldn't get up the speed. He had the opening, and I believe if he were full speed, he could have made maybe a touchdown on that.
He's had a bad knee or bad leg. He injured it in last week's game, and he's played very well, but a little bit hampered with it today.
Okay, Bulldogs with the ball on the 40-yard line or just across the 40-yard of their own, 1st and 10. They've got a 1-point lead. They're in the eye. And the give is to Gerald as he slips outside. He'll pick up 5 and maybe 6.
Had the ball well covered, both hands over it as he hit the line of scrimmage.
Mark has done a good job today.
Yes,
He's run well. He should be a good runner. He's got long legs. Should be able to pick up some yardage there.
Now, keep in mind, he's only a junior. Got some valuable playing time last year, and it's proving very helpful this year.
The give is to Gerald as he slips outside again, and he'll pick up another 4 or 5.
Quickly becoming the workhorse of the Bulldog backfield.
I like the way he's doing over last week. He's hitting that hole much quicker than he was last week.
Yeah, he certainly is. I agree. And he's reading better. If the hole's close to the inside, he's dipping in and then taking it to the outside and getting some valuable yards that way.
3rd and 1 on the 50 for the Bulldogs. Out of the eye as Laughlin barks the signals. Again, to Gerald as he picks up another 5.
Gerald's the ball carrier.
Ron, is he getting close? What's his total yardage?
That may have been number 31.
Okay.
John Garner along with number 7, Ricky Jamison.
He crosses the 45 down to the 44 of the Blue Jays. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. As they run that clock down as we're now right up and approaching that 5-minute mark. And again, it's Gerald as he gets to the scrimmage and dives forward for maybe a yard.
Stacked up at the line of scrimmage, falls for about a yard.
As it looks like the Bulldogs may be getting a little conservative here, want to keep that ball on the ground, keep that clock running, and hopefully move it all the way down, at least where they could get a field goal.
The main thing is just to eat as much time off that clock as you can.
Let's see, we've got, what, a timeout?
Official's timeout, I think. Number 56 for the Bulldogs. Ron Baker is having some equipment problems. Ron says that Gerald's got 62 yards rushing thus far. This half.
So he's up to about just
even 100.
Even 100 yards. Well, that'll put some spirit in him then.
Yes, it should.
Okay, 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs. And the gives to the first man, is that Price?
Price or Taylor?
Taylor, you're right, Chris Taylor.
They've been alternating Price and Taylor at that fullback spot.
He'll pick up about 3 yards, so it'll be a 3rd and 6.
This will be a big down.
Yes, this will really be, again, a real coach's call. When you put that ball in the air from here.
I think you're going to keep it on the ground. Of course, I'm probably wrong, so they'll throw it.
You're right, and they give to Gerald, and he picks up his 1st and 10 as he rumbles across that 30-yard line.
He had a nice hold to the outside off tackle there. Good blocking up front. The Bulldogs are coming right at him and doing the job.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Keep that ball on the ground, eat up that clock, and just, put it right to him.
As you mentioned a minute ago, I think you've got to be awfully impressed with the way Mark Gerald has run the football, particularly in this second half.
27-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
On the 27, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. As they continue to move that ball downfield, out of the eye.
Where's 47 going this time?
Out to the outside. Oh, he slipped. He was trying to cut back in. And he'll pick up a couple on the slip even.
Picked up by number 51, Clinton Gross.
Hey, they give him his knee down. Gain of a yard. 2nd and 9. 3.5 minutes left in the half with the Bulldogs up by 1 point. You would like to get that ball down to at least the 5 or 10 yard line so you could get a field goal, if nothing else, out of this drive. Make them go for the touchdown then. As Gerald slips outside, we got a flag on this side, and he doesn't pick up much of anything as he tried to slip outside. Not sure what that is. Maybe a holding penalty. It looked like it was on this side away from the play. And that's exactly what it is.
Holding against the Bulldogs. I think they called that on number 63. Good.
Penalty marker. Preliminary indication against the Bulldogs.
Looks like Gerald is limping a little bit toward the sideline.
Thank the fine sponsors for today's ball game.
3:09 left in the ball game with the Bulldogs up by 1. And this could be truly a barn burner, right?
Yes, it could. Has all indications of that.
So it'll be 2nd and about 16 or 17. Ball resting on the, 32? 37.
37. The yard markers are gone now completely. Laying down flat, we don't see them.
Tate in the ball game for Gerald.
Tate and Taylor in the backfield.
Backfield to give is to Taylor. He tries to get off tackle, and he's not going anywhere. He'll pick up a half a yard.
Chris Taylor back up at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and a bunch. Is this the long fly to Grant again?
Gain of a yard.
I don't know if you're going to put it in the air or not. Clock's still running.
As it's down to 2.5 minutes. That is a real call. Do you put it in the air here?
I think you keep it on the ground and keep that clock going. You're going to run 2 more downs most likely before you give it up, and you can give it to them with a minute or less left if you don't make your 1st and 10.
It's very difficult for a high school team to make up that kind of yardage, isn't it?
Yes.
Nice play by Tate as he just rolled off, and he'll pick up 5 or 6 yards. And it'll be 4th and still a whole bunch.
Got an injury timeout.
No, clock starts again. Okay, as it's rolling down.
4th down for the Bulldogs.
As you hear the coaches.
Charleston calls timeout.